Exclusive core tags: rebirth awakening, father-daughter rift, parental bias, vicious relatives and debt trap, cold violence and depression, illegitimate siblings humiliation, pseudo-orthopedic secret love, amnesia trope, workplace moral kidnapping, wedding farce, abandoned child revenge, full cast crematorium, marriage suspense, best friend backstab, family ethics counterattack, dimensionality reduction workplace slapping face, no mercy female growth. Core unique selling points: completely abandoned fake husband identity swap, book transmigration, workplace draft plagiarism, single child bloodline reversal plots of the previous story. Adopt a full set of brand new heavy burst points: female lead reborn before the disastrous wedding, awakens from long-term depression and cold violence abuse, tears apart father's extreme bias and father-daughter break, crushes vicious relatives debt trap scam, exposes illegitimate brother and sister's public humiliation scheme, breaks pseudo-orthopedic twisted love entanglement, fights off workplace moral kidnapping and unloading killing donkey, punishes traitorous best friend and cheating ex. Fiancé achieves thorough emotional severance and self-redemption, pushes all biased family, hypocritical lovers, and white-eyed relatives into lifelong regret crematorium, full process cool counterattack, without brainless abuse, multi-layer ethical reversal, and high-density face-slapping plots. In my previous life, I spent 28 years living as a complete joke. My name was Lin Shu, the legitimate daughter of the wealthy Lin family, born with a golden spoon in her mouth, but trapped in a man-made hell for a lifetime. My father had never loved me. Since I was a child, his eyes were always on his illegitimate son and daughter hidden outside the family. He treated me with perfunctory coldness, harsh discipline, and endless bias, treating me as a tool for family marriage and face decoration. My mother died of depression when I was young, and I grew up in an empty, luxurious villa with no warmth. The only so-called family affection I tried to grasp was from my pseudo-orthopedic elder brother, Lin Zhe, who was adopted by the Lin family. I mistook his gentle care for true love, indulged in the twisted secret love for more than 10 years, and trapped myself in an unspoken taboo relationship. I had a sincere childhood best friend, Xiao Man, who grew up with me. I shared all my family grievances, savings, and resources with her, helped her integrate into the upper-class circle, and paved the way for her workplace career with my own family connections. But kindness never got reciprocity in my life. My father's extreme partiality made the illegitimate sister Lin Yao unscrupulous. She repeatedly stole my dresses, my birthday gifts, my academic honors, and even my engagement opportunity. The illegitimate brother Lin Hao relied on my father's indulgence to squander the family property, borrow usury outside, and finally set up a huge debt trap, trying to force me to use my dowry and personal property to pay off his gambling debts. My pseudo-orthopedic brother Lin Zhe, who I had loved for more than 10 years, had always been using my feelings. He pretended to be gentle and protective in front of me, but secretly colluded with Xiao Man and Lin Yao, watching me being bullied and humiliated, and even added fuel to the fire for his own interests. My fiancé, Lu Chen, the wealthy young master I was engaged to through family arrangement, had a long-standing white moonlight in his heart. He regarded me as a spare tire and a marriage tool. Before the wedding, he cheated on Xiao Man behind my back, and the two secretly transferred my premarital property for a long time. For more than 10 years, I endured family cold violence, relative abuse, emotional deception, and workplace moral kidnapping. I was trapped in severe moderate depression, suffering from insomnia, anxiety, and self-denial all year round. I was humble, sensitive, and inferior, compromising and giving in again and again, hoping to exchange a little family affection and sincerity. But compromise only brought endless compromise. On my wedding day, the most important day in my life, it turned into the most ridiculous and bloody farce in the entire upper-class circle. My illegitimate sister Lin Yao rushed into the wedding venue with a group of media reporters, publicly exposing the so-called scandal that I was arrogant, mean, and suppressed my siblings. My best friend Xiao Man stood on the stage in a seductive dress, announcing her long-term secret love and intimate relationship with my fiancé Lu Chen, holding a pregnancy test sheet in her hand, claiming that she was pregnant with Lu Chen's child. My father sat in the guest seat with a cold face, not only did not defend me, but publicly announced that I was stubborn and unfilial, personally terminated the father-daughter relationship with me in front of all guests, and announced that all Lin family property would be inherited by his illegitimate children. My pseudo-orthopedic brother Lin Zhe stood in the crowd, watching me being mocked, slandered, and humiliated by the whole audience, with no intention of helping me. The wedding that should have been romantic and solemn turned into a grand public execution for me. All the relatives, friends, and partners who had been favored by me stood by and watched, even sneering and mocking. The whole upper-class circle spread my scandal overnight, and I became the most ridiculous joke in everyone's mouth. That day, I collapsed completely on the wedding stage, suffering from a severe depressive episode. I was sent to the mental health center in a daze, while everyone who hurt me reaped their own benefits. Lin Yao successfully replaced my identity as the legitimate daughter of the Lin family, enjoying glory and wealth. Lin Hao escaped the usury debt crisis with my property, unrestrained and free. Xiao Man relied on her pregnancy to force Lu Chen to marry her, soaring to the top and becoming the young mistress of the Lu family. My father got his beloved illegitimate children settled, with a peaceful mind and no regrets. Lin Zhe cleared his relationship with me completely, got the core resource support of the Lin family, and his career reached the peak smoothly. Everyone was happy and successful. Only I fell into the abyss. After being discharged from the hospital, I had no family, no property, no reputation, no friends, and no lover. I was alone, suffering from depression and chronic physical diseases, struggling at the bottom of society. In the end, I died in a dilapidated rental house at the age of 28, alone and desolate, with endless regret and hatred in my heart. If I could do it all over again, I would never be humble and kind again. I would cut off all false family affection and false love, let all biased, hypocritical, and greedy people pay the most painful price, and take back everything that belonged to me. I want all of them to fall into the endless crematorium of regret for a lifetime. Chapter 1 Rebirth before wedding, complete awakening from depression. The piercing cold wind and the damp and moldy smell of the rental house disappeared in an instant. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on the soft big bed of my exclusive bedroom in the Lin family villa. The room was decorated with luxurious custom furniture, and the sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, warm and bright. I was stunned for a moment, then quickly raised my hand to look. The hands in front of me were white, slender, and smooth, without the withered thinness and scar marks left by long-term depression and illness in my previous life. I hurriedly picked up the mobile phone on the bedside table. The date on the screen was fixed 3 days before my disastrous wedding. I'm reborn. I was reborn at the best turning point before all the tragedies happened. All the pain and despair of my previous life surged into my mind, making my eyes turn cold in an instant. The long-term depression and inferiority in my bones completely faded away, replaced by thorough sobriety and icy cruelty. In this life, I am no longer the humble, cowardly, and indulgent Lin Shu. I remember everyone's true face, all their hidden schemes and dirty calculations. In these 3 days, Lin Yao is secretly preparing the wedding farce slander plan. Lin Hao is stepping up to accumulate usury debts waiting for me to pay off. Xiao Man is secretly dating Lu Qin and preparing for pregnancy. My father is waiting for the wedding day to completely abolish me, and Lin Zhe is silently waiting for me to collapse and lose everything so that he can profit from it. All their plots and tricks are clearly displayed in my mind. This time, I will take the initiative to control the overall situation, reverse all endings, and let every betrayer taste the pain of losing everything. Just as I sorted out my thoughts, the bedroom door was gently pushed open. A tall and elegant man walked in. He was wearing a white shirt and black trousers, with gentle facial features and a warm temperament. It was Lin Zhe, my pseudo-orthopedic elder brother, who had fooled my 10 years of sincere feelings in my previous life. In my previous life, I would be flustered and shy when I saw him, indulging in his superficial tenderness. But now, looking at his familiar gentle smile, I only felt extremely disgusting and cold. Lin Zhe walked slowly to the bed, his voice warm and soft, just like the gentle and caring elder brother in my memory. Shu, why did you wake up so early? The wedding is coming in 3 days, don't be too nervous, take a good rest. He reached out his hand subconsciously, wanting to touch my hair as usual, showing intimate care. In my previous life, this trivial action could make me happy for a whole day and make me mistakenly think that he had different feelings for me. But I clearly remember that on the wedding day of my previous life, he watched me being humiliated without moving and even privately told Lu Chun that my character was defective and I was not worthy of marriage. I leaned back coldly, neatly avoiding his touch, my eyes calm and indifferent, without the slightest shyness and dependence of the past. Lin Zhe's hand froze in the air, and a trace of surprise flashed in his gentle eyes. What's wrong? Are you uncomfortable? No need for fake concern. My voice was cold and clear, without any warmth, directly breaking his gentle disguise. Lin Zhe's expression stiffened slightly, and his eyes were full of astonishment and confusion. He had never seen such a cold and unfamiliar me. In his impression, I have always been obedient and clingy to him, soft and easy to coax, and never took the initiative to alienate him. Shu, what are you talking about? I'm your elder brother. How can I have fake concern for you? He frowned slightly, pretending to be injured and confused, trying to arouse my guilt as usual. I looked at his hypocritical face coldly, and the corners of my mouth raised a sarcastic smile. Elder brother? Lin Zhe, you are just an adopted child of the Lin family. We have no blood relationship, nor do we have any sincere sibling affection. Don't pretend to be gentle and kind in front of me anymore. Your hypocrisy is disgusting. These words were like a sharp blade, directly piercing Lin Zhe's perfect disguise. His face turned pale instantly, and the gentle smile on his face completely collapsed. His eyes were full of shock and panic, and he couldn't believe that the always obedient me would say such ruthless words to him. Shu, have you had a nightmare? Why are you talking nonsense? He quickly adjusted his mood, trying to continue to disguise and comfort me. I didn't give him any chance to continue acting, and directly issued an order to chase away. Get out of my room. From today on, don't touch me, don't talk to me, and don't have any contact with me. We are strangers. Lin Zhe's heart sank completely. He finally realized that I was really different today. I was no longer the silly girl who was obedient to him. He stared at me deeply for a few seconds, his eyes flickering with unclear emotions, and finally turned around and left silently with a complicated expression. Watching his leaving back, I had no fluctuation in my heart. The twisted pseudo-orthopedic secret love that trapped me for 10 years in my previous life will be completely cut off in this life from now on. No more unspoken taboos. No more humble obsession. No more being used as a tool by others. Next, it's time to settle accounts with all the enemies one by one. Hashtag Chapter 2 Expose Illegitimate Siblings, Crush Public Humiliation Scheme. On the same day, my good sister Lin Yao took the initiative to come to my bedroom. She was wearing my limited edition custom dress, with delicate makeup on her face and a proud and provocative look in her eyes. Since she was a child, she was used to stealing my things, competing with me for everything, and relying on my father's preference to bully me wantonly. In my previous life, she rushed into the wedding scene to slander me, ruined my reputation completely, and stepped on my misery to climb up. At this moment, she was holding a cup of honey tea in her hand, with a pretended gentle and concerned expression. Sister, you're going to get married in 3 days. I made you a cup of soothing tea myself, so you won't be nervous on the wedding day. In my previous life, I was foolishly moved by her superficial kindness, drank the tea she made, and suffered from severe stomach discomfort on the wedding day, becoming more flustered and embarrassed, which also gave her more opportunities to perform and humiliate me. There was a small amount of laxative added in this cup of tea, which was her premeditated plot to make me lose my manners at the wedding. I looked at the tea in her hand, and the coldness in my eyes became stronger and stronger. You are so kind, I sneered. Lin Yao, you've been stealing my things, framing me and slandering me since childhood. When did you have such a kind heart? Lin Yao's smile froze instantly, and her eyes flashed with panic. She didn't expect that I would directly expose her true face. She quickly pretended to be wronged, her eyes turned red, and she said in a grieved tone, Sister, how can you misunderstand me so much? I really care about you. I have always envied you for being the legitimate daughter of the Lin family. I just want to get along well with you. Envy me? I stood up slowly, walked in front of her step by step, my aura powerful and cold. You don't envy me. You just hate me. You hate that I have a legitimate identity, hate that I have a marriage contract with the Liu family, hate that everything you want is mine. You've long been planning to replace me, ruin my wedding, and take my identity and property, isn't it? Lin Yao's face turned pale in an instant, and her whole body trembled slightly. All her pretenses were completely seen through by me. I don't know what you're talking about, sister. You're getting married and you're in a bad mood, so you're deliberately targeting me. She still refused to admit it, trying to pretend to be weak to win sympathy. I didn't give her any chance to quibble, directly took out the surveillance video evidence I had prepared in advance and projected it on the wall screen. The video clearly recorded the scene where Lin Yao secretly bought laxatives from a pharmacy and communicated with the media in private, planning to slander me at the wedding and create public opinion scandal. Ironclad evidence was present, and Lin Yao's disguise completely collapsed. She panicked and wanted to rush up to turn off the screen, but I stopped her coldly. Don't rush. Since you like making a scene so much, I will let everyone in the Lin family take a good look at your ugly face today. I directly called all the elders of the Lin family and my father to the bedroom. When everyone arrived, I played all the evidence in public again. All the elders were shocked and angry when they saw Lin Yao's premeditated frame-up and vicious scheme. My father's face was extremely ugly, but he still habitually favored his illegitimate daughter and opened his mouth to defend her. It's just a child's nonsense. Yao Yao is young and ignorant, so don't be so fussy with her. These words completely aroused the anger in my heart. Young and ignorant? Deliberately framing and murdering her sister's lifelong happiness is just ignorance? In my previous life, it was his endless preference and partiality that indulged these two illegitimate children to be lawless and destroy my whole life. I looked straight at my father, my eyes cold and firm, without the slightest compromise and weakness of the past. Father, you have favored illegitimate children for more than 10 years, ignored me, neglected me, and let them bully me wantonly. I have endured it for long enough. Today, she premeditated to drug me and ruin my wedding. If I compromise again, tomorrow she will dare to kill me and seize all my property. You are partial and unfair, and you have long been unworthy of being my father. From today on, I, Lin Shu, take the initiative to terminate the father-daughter relationship with you. All the kinship and filial piety are broken off completely. I will never ask for any care from the Lin family, and you will never control my life again. As soon as these words fell, the whole audience was in an uproar. No one expected that the always gentle and obedient legitimate daughter would take the initiative to break off the father-daughter relationship publicly. My father's face turned livid with anger, and he stared at me angrily. Lin Shu, are you crazy? How dare you talk to me like this? I'm not crazy, I'm just awake. I looked at him indifferently. You protect your illegitimate children, and I protect my own life. From now on, we will go our separate ways, no longer have any entanglements. After speaking, I turned around and left the Lin family villa directly, without a trace of nostalgia. The father-daughter affection that trapped me for 28 years was completely cut off today. No more partiality, no more grievance, no more humble expectation of family warmth. From today on, I only rely on myself. Hashtag Chapter 3 Crack Vicious Relatives Debt Trap. Retaliate against usury scam. After leaving the Lin family villa, I temporarily stayed in my private apartment outside, which was my personal property saved by my own part-time work and investment in my early years, and had nothing to do with the Lin family. Soon, Lin Hao, my illegitimate brother, took the initiative to find me. In my previous life, he gambled heavily outside, owed millions of usury, and had no way to pay off the debt. He united with my father and relatives to put pressure on me morally, forcing me to take out my dowry and personal savings to pay off his debt, setting up a vicious debt trap for me. At that time, I was soft-hearted and afraid of family gossip, so I compromised and paid off his huge debt, which also emptied all my savings and laid the hidden danger for my subsequent poverty and downfall. But in this life, I will never be stupid again. Lin Hao rushed into my apartment in a hurry, with a fierce and arrogant look on his face, completely without the slightest sense of guilt. Lin Shu, hurry up and take out your money to help me pay off the debt. I owe 3 million usury, and if I don't pay it off in 3 days, they will break my legs. You are the eldest daughter of the Lin family. You have money and status. It's only right for you to help your brother pay off his debts. Don't be so selfish. He was confident, as if my money should be his, and my dedication to him was taken for granted. I sat on the sofa calmly, looked at his arrogant and greedy appearance, and sneered coldly. Your gambling debts, your mistakes, why should I pay for you? We are brother and sister. Blood is thicker than water. Lin Hao roared impatiently. Father said all your money is the Lin family's money. You must take it out to help me. Blood thicker than water? I raised my eyes sharply. Since you talk about blood, do you have the slightest family affection when you spend money recklessly and set a debt trap to harm me? When you gambled and owed debts, you never thought of me. Now that you are in trouble, you come to recognize your sister? It's too late. Lin Hao's face turned ferocious with anger. Lin Shu, are you really going to die without saving me? If I break my leg, I will drag you to die with me. I will tell everyone that you are unfilial and ruthless and abandon your own brother. He tried to threaten me with public opinion and moral kidnapping, which was exactly the same routine as in my previous life. But I was no longer the me who was afraid of gossip and cared about reputation. I took out all the evidence of his long-term gambling, usury borrowing, and even secretly using the Lin family's reputation to defraud loans, and sent them directly to the police station and the Financial Supervision Bureau. You want to ruin my reputation? Then I will send you to the police station first to accept legal sanctions. Illegal gambling, usury borrowing, financial fraud, every charge is enough for you to stay in prison for several years. Lin Hao's face turned pale with fright in an instant, and his arrogance disappeared completely. He panicked and wanted to run away, but was stopped by the police who rushed over quickly. The usury gang who came to collect debts also followed. After seeing the police, they fled in a panic, but were all arrested on the spot. The vicious debt trap carefully set up by Lin Hao and the relatives was completely broken by me. Lin Hao was taken away by the police on the spot, waiting for legal trial and prison sentence. All his greedy delusions of emptying my property were completely shattered. The relatives who secretly encouraged him to borrow money and set up traps also received corresponding legal punishments, and none of them could escape. Evil deeds will eventually be rewarded, and all greedy people have ushered in their due retribution. Hashtag Chapter 4 expose best friend's betrayal, slap cheating fiancé in face. After solving the Lin family's internal troubles, it's time to settle accounts with the two people who hurt me the most. Xiao Man, my traitorous best friend, and Lu Chun, my cheating fiancé. In my previous life, Xiao Man was the person I trusted the most besides my family. I shared all my secrets with her, helped her start a business, introduced her to high-end contacts, and treated her as my own sister. But she was insidious and vicious, secretly coveted my fiancé and my life, colluded with Lu Qin to cheat and transfer property, and finally ruined my wedding and my life. Early in the morning of the wedding day, Xiao Man pretended to be concerned and came to my apartment to help me try on the wedding dress, still maintaining the gentle and loyal best friend persona. She looked at me enviously, with a hypocritical smile on her face. Shu, you are so lucky. You're going to marry young Master Lu soon. You have a perfect life. I'm really happy for you. But her heart was full of jealousy and vicious calculation. She had already made an appointment with Lu Chen, planning to rush into the wedding venue later, announce their intimate relationship and pregnancy news, and replace me as the young mistress of the Lu family. I looked at her hypocritical face, and the corners of my mouth raised a cold arc. Are you really happy for me? Or are you already waiting to replace me? Xiao Man's smile froze instantly, and her eyes flashed with guilty panic. Shu, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You don't understand? I took out a large number of intimate photos, chat records, transfer records, and hotel check-in records of her and Lu Chen, and displayed them all in front of her. These are all real. You have been secretly dating my fiancé for more than a year, and you're already pregnant with his child, aren't you? Xiao Man's face turned pale as paper in an instant, and her whole body trembled uncontrollably. She never thought that I would collect all their cheating evidence in advance. Shu, I was wrong. It was all an accident. I didn't mean to betray you. She knelt down on the ground in panic, crying and begging for mercy, trying to arouse my sympathy. Accident? I sneered coldly. A year of secret dating, countless intimate dates, and accidental pregnancy? Xiao Man, your lies are too ridiculous. I treat you as my sister, and give you everything I have, but you repay kindness with enmity, betray my trust, seduce my fiancé, and plan to ruin my wedding and my life. You are ungrateful and extremely vicious. Just at this time, Lu Chen called, urging Xiao Man to hurry to the wedding venue to prepare for the plan. I directly answered the phone, turned on the speaker, and let all his obscene and frivolous words be heard clearly. Man, hurry up and come over. After today's farce, Lin Shu will be completely ruined, and you will be the only young mistress of the Liu family. I have long been tired of that boring and rigid woman Lin Shu. You are the one I love the most. The arrogant and ruthless voice echoed in the room, completely exposing Lu Chen's true face of ingratitude and betrayal. I said coldly to the phone, Lu Chen, you don't have to wait. The wedding is cancelled. Lu Chen on the other end of the phone was stunned for a moment, then said angrily, Lin Shu, what do you mean? Don't be willful. The wedding is related to the face of the two families. How can you say cancel it? Face. I sneered. You cheat on my best friend before marriage, transfer my private property secretly, and plan to humiliate me at the wedding. Where is your face? From today on, our engagement is completely terminated. You and Xiao Man, the adulterer and the prostitute, can stay together forever. Don't pollute my life. After speaking, I directly hung up the phone and sent all the cheating evidence to the Liu family's elders and the entire upper-class circle. In an instant, the scandal of Lu Chen's premarital cheating and Xiao Man's best friend betrayal spread throughout the entire circle. Lu Chen's perfect, wealthy young master persona collapsed overnight, and the Liu family's reputation was severely damaged. Xiao Man's gentle and kind white-collar elite persona was completely ruined. She became a shameless mistress who seduced her best friend's fiancé and was spurned by everyone. The pregnancy news that she was proud of became the biggest joke. No one envied her. Everyone only mocked her for being shameless and greedy. They originally planned to hold a grand wedding farce to humiliate me, but in the end, they made themselves the biggest joke. Hashtag Chapter 5 Workplace Moral Kidnapping Counterattack Dimensionality Reduction Beat Workplace Villains. After solving all emotional and family troubles, I focused on my workplace career. In my previous life, I had excellent workplace ability and outstanding professional performance, but I was trapped in family and emotional trivialities all year round and was morally kidnapped by workplace leaders and colleagues repeatedly. My supervisor took advantage of my soft heart and sense of responsibility, assigned all the most difficult and tiring core work to me, took my work results as his own, occupied my performance and promotion quota, and repeatedly suppressed my development. Every time I wanted to refuse, he would use young people should endure hardships, team responsibility, don't be selfish, to kidnap me morally, forcing me to compromise and sacrifice. In addition, my colleagues were jealous of my ability and resources, united to isolate me, spread rumors to slander my workplace reputation, and tried every means to squeeze me out of the core team. In my previous life, I endured repeatedly and finally was dismissed for no reason after being drained of all value, with nothing left. But in this life, I am completely awake, and I will never accept any workplace moral kidnapping and unfair treatment. On the first working day after the wedding was cancelled, my supervisor took the initiative to find me, still using the old routine to kidnap me morally. Lin Shu, the company has a big project that is urgent. Everyone else is busy, so you take charge of it alone. You are young and capable, and you should take more responsibility for the team. I knew clearly that this project was the hardest and most thankless task, with high risk and no performance bonus. After it was done, the credit would be taken by the supervisor, and if it failed, all the responsibilities would be mine. In the past, I would compromise silently, but now I refuse directly and coldly. I won't take it. The supervisor's face sank instantly. Lin Shu, what's your attitude? The team cultivates you, and it's your duty to contribute to the team. Don't be so selfish and capricious. He began to carry out moral kidnapping as usual, trying to pressure me with team responsibility. I looked at him calmly and took out all the evidence that he had occupied my work results, embezzled my performance bonus, and suppressed my promotion for a long time. Team cultivation for the past 2 years. All the core projects I have taken charge of have been taken by you for promotion and reward. All the hard work and overtime are mine. All the honors and bonuses are yours. You've been draining my value for a long time, and now you still want to kidnap me morally and let me take the blame for you? It's impossible. I directly submitted all the evidence to the company's board of directors and human resources department and made a public statement in the company's internal group. All colleagues were shocked when they saw the supervisor's long-term exploitation and unfair treatment. The supervisor's hypocritical leadership persona collapsed completely. He was dismissed on the spot by the company, deprived of all positions and bonuses, and became a laughingstock in the workplace. The colleagues who had isolated and slandered me also apologized one after another, fearing that I would pursue their responsibility for rumor spreading. I relied on my absolute professional strength and ironclad evidence to complete a perfect dimensionality reduction counterattack in the workplace, completely getting rid of the fate of being exploited and bullied. Since then, no one dares to kidnap me morally or suppress my development in the workplace. My career began to rise steadily, and my personal ability and reputation were fully recognized by the company's senior management. Hashtag Chapter 6 Full Cast Crematorium. All enemies fall into eternal regret. As I completed family severance, emotional severance, and workplace counterattack one by one, all the people who once hurt me fell into the endless crematorium of regret and despair. My father was the first to regret. After I broke off the father-daughter relationship, the Lin family lost my excellent personal ability and my external industry resources. The illegitimate daughter Lin Yao had no ability and no vision, and messed up all the family's trivial affairs. The illegitimate son Lin Hao was imprisoned, and the usury debt crisis completely broke out. The Lin family's capital chain was broken, and the industry's reputation was severely damaged, falling from a wealthy family to a declining family in a short time. My father watched the family decline day by day, and finally realized that his decades of partiality was the biggest mistake in his life. He regretted abandoning his most excellent and filial legitimate daughter, regretted spoiling the useless illegitimate children, but it was too late. He came to me many times to apologize and beg for forgiveness, hoping that I could return to the Lin family and take charge of the overall situation, but I refused all coldly. The broken kinship can never be repaired, and the hurt that has been suffered can never be erased. He could only watch me shine brightly alone, while he endured the decline of the family and the endless regret of old age alone. Lin Zhe, my pseudo-orthopedic brother, also fell into deep regret. After I completely alienated him, he lost my unreserved dedication and help. Without my resources and connections, his career development was blocked everywhere, and he was no longer as smooth as before. He finally realized that the 10 years of gentle company I thought was true was the most sincere affection he had ever obtained in his life. His selfish calculation and indifference pushed away the only person who really cared about him. He began to chase after me humbly, wanting to make up for his mistakes, wanting to restore the previous relationship, but I never gave him any chance. He was trapped in the crematorium of unrequited love and lifelong regret, watching me walk further and further and never looking back. Lu Chen and Xiao Man had the worst ending. After the cheating scandal broke out, the Lu family's reputation plummeted, the enterprise's cooperation was broken one after another, and the capital chain was severely impacted. Lu Chen lost all his high-end resources and noble reputation, and was dismissed from the core position of the Lu family enterprise. He was no longer the glamorous, wealthy young master. Xiao Man's pregnancy was not blessed, but was ridiculed and spurned by everyone. After she gave birth to the child, the two often quarreled and blamed each other. Their life was messy and miserable. They finally got together as they wished, but they lived in endless quarrels, suspicions, and regrets every day. They completely understood that they had abandoned the best me for the most ridiculous desire and ruined their own perfect life. Lin Yao lost all her dependence and protection. Without my father's partiality and the Lin family's aura, she was excluded and bullied in the upper-class circle. She could only live a poor and desolate life, regretting every day that she had framed and offended me. The workplace supervisor and gossiping colleagues also regretted endlessly. They lost the most capable core partner, and their career development was stagnant. They could only watch me rise rapidly and become a height they could never reach. All the people who once hurt me, bullied me, betrayed me, and abandoned me finally fell into the lifelong crematorium of regret. They looked up at my brilliant life from the abyss of despair and spent every day in endless regret and self-blame. Chapter 7 Self-Redemption and Growth. Stand on the peak of life alone. After cutting off all false relationships and settling all grievances and hatreds, I completely bid farewell to the humble and painful self of my previous life. I completely walked out of the shadow of depression and cold violence, and my heart became strong, independent, and calm. I no longer pinned my hopes on others, no longer craved false affection and love, and only focused on improving myself and managing my career. With my outstanding professional ability and precise workplace judgment, I quickly broke through in the industry, created outstanding performance repeatedly, was promoted to the company's core executive position at a young age, and became a well-known elite in the industry. I used my own savings and investment vision to expand my career territory, founded my own independent studio, and achieved financial freedom and career independence at a young age. I bought my own house and car, traveled around the world when I was free, lived a comfortable and free life, and completely got rid of the trivial troubles of family disputes and emotional entanglements. I no longer need to rely on any man, any family, or any friend. I can rely on my own hands to create a brilliant life and give myself the best life. Looking back on my previous life, I was trapped in kinship, love and friendship, humble and inferior, suffering from depression and cold violence all year round, and finally died alone in despair. But in this life, I rebelled against fate, awakened thoroughly, cut off all bad relationships, retaliated against all villains, completed thorough female growth and self-redemption. I let all the biased, hypocritical, greedy, and ruthless people pay the price of lifelong regret, and let the whole world know that I, Lin Shu, can live brilliantly and freely by myself. No father's favor, no lover's preference, no friend's company, but I have the most powerful self and the most splendid future. All regrets are left to others. All glory belongs to myself. This is the most thorough rebirth counterattack, the most powerful female growth, and the most shocking full-cast crematorium ending.